he alive somewhere hiding. Prior to his death, there was already attempts made upon his life in jail. How is it a coincidence that he ended up in jail with a suicide, but the autopsy report said his larynx was crushed? You can't do that with suicide. I'll choke you to do that. Why don't the media do Epstein like they do Diddy? We know everything. We know Diddy like to put cum on his nipples for men. Him and Cassie like to suck the cum off. So this is detail. Why we don't know details about Epstein?
What do you think about Jeffrey
Epstein was a CIA Mossad asset that was recruited and was doing a blackmail operation. They haven't released the entire list of close Epstein confidants, but Israel's former prime minister was one of them.
Barak?
Yes, they got a picture of him visiting Epstein at his New York apartment.
Girl, I think y'all need to grab a seat for this one because it's about to get wild. So, in the middle of all the chaos surrounding Diddy and the renewed buzz about that infamous Jeffrey Epstein list, Charleston White was a guest on the PDB podcast where he inserted himself in the whole Jeffrey Epstein conversation. And y'all, not only did Charleston White allege that Epstein was still alive and was smuggled out of the country, but he also claims Diddy knew exactly where Epstein was hiding because they moved in the same shady circles and had a lot of powerful people blackmailed. For those who may not have clocked on to this tea, grab a seat and let me fill you in. So Diddy's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons ever since November 2023 when Cassie filed a civil lawsuit against him. Now, Cassie's lawsuit led to a domino effect of lawsuits, and in a few months, lawsuits started pouring in from all directions. Within just a few months, Diddy found himself facing multiple legal battles with serious allegations like sexual assault, blackmail, throwing adult parties where minors were allegedly present, and even transporting people across state lines for prostitution stacked against him. Now, the allegations against Diddy were so disturbing that law enforcement couldn't just look the other way. Homeland Security ended up raiding his mansions. According to their records, they found rifles with defaced serial numbers, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and hard drives reportedly filled with footage from his so-called freak-offs. Even more disturbing, some of those recordings were allegedly made without the participants' consent. After the raid, Diddy was officially charged in court, hit with a serious RICO charge and another for transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution. Now, when the news broke that he managed to beat the more serious RICO charge, the internet exploded. People were shocked and honestly kind of outraged. It didn't take long before people started calling out the government, demanding that they finally release the Epstein list. The argument, if people like Diddy, who's been accused of being involved with minors, are still walking around free, then who else is being protected? Social media lit up with people saying it's time for full transparency because letting powerful men with dark secrets skate by is a danger to society. Now, this is where things started to get interesting. Right in the middle of all the noise and pressure for the Epstein list to be made public, a major fallout happened between President Trump and none other than billionaire Elon Musk. Keep in mind, Elon wasn't just some random supporter. He donated to Trump's campaign and was a major figure during his administration. So the two falling out had the internet in shock. Now, Elon stunned the internet when he tweeted, "Time to drop the bomb. Donald Trump is on the Epstein files, and that is the reason why they have not been made public." See, a whole lot of people have suspected President Trump may have been on the Epstein list because of the close relationship he shares with Epstein and some of the controversial comments he has made in the past. There's this video of Trump telling the father of a 10-year-old he would be dating her in 10 years, which sounded disgusting.
Thursday night, you're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Also, there's this video of Trump and Epstein partying in Mar-a-Lago. And here is what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 interview. He said, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life." This is what Candace Owens had to say about the whole Jeffrey Epstein case.
Jeffrey Epstein was a part of our intelligence agencies, that he was actually operating a blackmail ring. And this is the reason why nobody would prosecute him, because he was a protected CIA asset. Jeffrey Epstein would get very powerful people to attend his parties, to bring them out on the Lolita Express to his island in the Caribbean. He would get them to sleep with women, maybe unbeknownst to them that these women were very young, and then he'd have blackmail. He'd record the acts, and then suddenly he had control over people all around the world. A lot of people in the press were saying this guy, Alexander Acosta, allowed Jeffrey Epstein to get off scot-free.
Carlson Tucker also said this about the Epstein situation.
The real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from?
So while social media was in a frenzy over the Epstein list, people demanding answers and receipts, Charleston White decided to jump into the convo in the most Charleston White way possible. He pulled up on the PBD podcast, and let me tell you, he did not hold back. Now look, we all know Charleston White can be wild, out of pocket, and say some things that'll make you do a double take. But if there's one thing about him, he's gonna speak his truth, and lying ain't his style. Charleston White had this to say about the whole Diddy and Cassie situation.
You think he recorded all those guys? You think he's got
Yes.
the tape on all those people?
The FBI got the tape when they seized the house.
Oh, no shit.
They seized all of his computers.
Yeah.
And they made it seem like he had a Costco house full of baby oil. He only had a couple bottles. Our government painted a blurred picture about this man. Is he a horrible guy? Yeah. Should he be in prison? No. Should he be held without no bond?
Now, a lot of people share the same sentiments with Charleston's take on social media because they felt the whole thing was consensual, coupled with the fact that Cassie revealed on OAT that she went back to Diddy for freak-offs and had her husband watch her while making out with Diddy, which was wild TBH. But Charleston sent the internet into a frenzy when he alleged that Jeffrey Epstein was alive and hiding somewhere against the widespread reports that he committed suicide.
His woman.
What do you think about Epstein?
He alive somewhere hiding. Prior to his death, there was already attempts made upon his life in jail. How is it a coincidence that he ended up in jail with a suicide, but the autopsy report said his larynx was crushed? You can't do that with suicide. Choke you to do that. Why don't the media do Epstein like they do Diddy? We know everything. We know Diddy like to put cum on his nipples for men. Him and Cassie like to suck the cum off. So this is detail. Why we don't know details about Epstein? Where are the children? Where are their stories? Where are their testimonies? Why don't we have open access to Giselle's testimony and her cooperation with the government?
You mean Ghislaine? Yeah.
Ghislaine.
Yeah,
You know why? Because most of the people went to the island was politicians and powerful people, princesses of Wales, all them types, the real freaks, the evil people. The evil people who can go to an island and have access to children that nobody knows have been kidnapped in the world. The evil people. Those are politicians. Those aren't poor people. Those are not people on drugs. Those are not gangbangers that's doing this. Gangbangers hurt their own people.
Now, while a good part of the interview was cut out because the allegations were, inside sources revealed that Charleston White claimed Jeffrey Epstein was hiding in one of the Caribbean islands, and Diddy knows exactly where that is. Now, according to Charleston White, the whole suicide thing was just a ploy to give Epstein a new chance at life far away from America because he worked with super powerful people whom he had serious dirt on. Now, here's the question. If Jeffrey Epstein is alive, like Charleston White is boldly claiming, will that infamous list ever be released? Because let's be honest, if his death was faked and he was secretly flown out to some private island, that wasn't just a cover-up. It was a clear move to bury the entire case for good. Social media is loud, people are fed up, and the demand for that list to finally drop is stronger than ever. And now with Charleston White throwing Diddy into the mix, alleging that he knows where Epstein is hiding, oh yeah, things are getting real spicy. Also, one thing we've seen in the past few months is that people aren't staying silent silent anymore. The public is done looking away from the predators and their energy has shifted. So with everything bubbling up, the next few months are about to be really interesting. Charleston White, alleging Diddy knows where Jeffrey Epstein is hiding, had fans talking, and they left comments saying, "I have been saying this since the day he unalived himself. His body was switched after he escaped with the help of U.S. Department of Justice head Bill Barr. Jeff definitely alive. All they have is 1 minute on the video uncounted for saying it is a time lapse. No footage of officers or ambulance carrying his body out. But 1 minute is more than enough time for someone to slip out of that cell. And that person's name was Jeffrey. Never saw Epstein funeral or heard about it. He's still alive. So do you think Jeffrey Epstein may be alive, as Charleston White is claiming? Or do you think the powerful people unalived him to keep the details of the list hidden for life? Let me know what you think in the comments, then check out this next video.